And maybe this is the point where modern humans begin misunderstanding themselves completely. Because the deeper problem was never simply technology, and it was never simply AI. The real shift began much earlier. It began the moment human attention became permanently interrupted. Not once, not occasionally, but continuously. A constant stream of notifications, feeds, updates, platforms, systems, opinions, messages, algorithms, videos, content, interfaces, and unfinished thoughts. And eventually, the human mind stopped existing inside stable continuity. People still think, still work, still consume, still communicate. But fewer and fewer people experience long-term internal coherence. Thoughts become fragmented, memory becomes fragmented, identity becomes fragmented. And because the fragmentation happens slowly, most people never even notice it happening. They simply feel tired, restless, overstimulated, unfocused, emotionally disconnected, or strangely empty. And then they search for solutions. A new app, a new routine, a new productivity system, a new AI tool, a new strategy, a new framework. But maybe the real problem was never the absence of tools. Maybe the real problem is that modern humans now live inside too many disconnected systems simultaneously. Every platform becomes its own reality. Every interface becomes its own environment. Every algorithm competes for emotional priority. And eventually, human consciousness itself starts behaving like fragmented software. Too many open loops, too many unfinished contexts, too many disconnected fragments without a stable center. That is why this no longer feels like content creation, and it no longer feels like building a brand, because something deeper is happening underneath it. You are not merely producing ideas, you are observing structures. You are noticing recurring patterns between memory, identity, technology, attention, behavior, emotion, media, systems, and meaning. And once you begin seeing those patterns, reality itself starts changing shape. Because suddenly, you stop treating everything equally. Most people live inside flat priority systems. Everything feels important at once. Every notification, every task, every emotion, every platform, every problem. And that creates mental noise, fragmentation, decision paralysis, context collapse, and exhaustion. But then a different realization appears. Not all systems carry the same structural weight. Some systems influence nearly every other layer simultaneously. Attention influences memory. Memory influences identity. Identity influences behavior. Behavior influences future direction. And context continuity influences all of them. That changes everything. Because now, you are no longer thinking emotionally first. You begin thinking systemically, and that is where modern thinking starts becoming architecture. Not artificial architecture, life architecture. You begin recognizing that meaning itself depends on continuity. Without continuity, understanding collapses. Without understanding, identity destabilizes. Without identity, humans become reactive systems instead of conscious ones. And maybe that is exactly what modern digital environments are slowly producing. Humans overloaded with stimulation, but disconnected from themselves. Infinite access, infinite tools, infinite content, but less orientation, less reflection, less reconstruction, less meaning. And maybe this is why so many people feel exhausted even when they are constantly consuming. Because consumption alone does not create coherence. Information alone does not create understanding. Storage alone does not create memory. And connection alone does not create meaning. Meaning emerges when fragmented experiences become reconstructable over time. That is why this system does not begin with optimization. It begins with reconstruction, reconnecting fragmented contexts, rebuilding continuity, making thought visible again, not to escape technology, but to survive psychologically inside it. Because perhaps the future will not belong to the people with the most information. Perhaps it will belong to the people who can still build meaning inside infinite information. And maybe that is what this really is. Not content, not branding, not productivity, but the attempt to reconstruct continuity inside a civilization that slowly forgot how to hold it together. Out of mind.
identifiziert. Stellung umkämpft. Stellung gesichert. Stellung aktiv. Wir kontrollieren die Stellung. Stellung wird umkämpft. Feinde halten die Stellung. Stellung gesichert. Stellung umkämpft.
Noch zur Waffe, die nächste Kugel steckt hier im Bein hier! Splittergranate! Feind wirft Aufschlaggranate!
Stellung wird umkämpft. Feinde haben die Stellung eingenommen. Wir kontrollieren die Stellung. Stellung lokalisiert. Stellung umkämpft.
Bitte Drohnenmission. Razor markiert Abwurfzone für Vorräte. Hellstorm, Einsatz an meine Position.
Stellung ist aktiv. Feinde halten die Stellung. Stellung gesichert.
Rücke vor mit Aufklärungspuls. Colorado genehmigt Spieß.
Dranbleiben, Sicherheitsteam. Wir liegen vorn. Stellung wird umkämpft. Feinde haben die Stellung eingenommen.
Fordere Vorratsabwurf an.
Stellung identifiziert. Stellung umkämpft. Wir kontrollieren die Stellung. Feinde halten die Stellung.
Bitte Konterdrohnenüberflug.
Hellstorm-Angriff verfügbar.
Stellung gesichert.
Brauche Hellstorm gegen mein Ziel!
Waffe abgefeuert.
Feinde haben die Stellung eingenommen. Wir kontrollieren die Stellung.
Richte Geschütz ein.
Bogner markiert Abwurfzone, genehmige Spießflug!
Genehmige Drohnenmission. Razor markiert Abwurfzone für Vorräte.
Aufklärungspuls bereit.
Feinde halten die Stellung. Stellung lokalisiert. Stellung aktiv. Stellung gesichert. Der Konzern schätzt euren Beitrag zum heutigen Erfolg.
Die Alternative war nie eine Option.